Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bahamas. God, I wish y'all could be here with us. Yo, Squirt's got a great view. I guess you got your camera set up high enough that you're blocking out all the sun because I tried setting it up and I got way too much light behind me. But, I was going to try to show y'all what we're doing. But anyway, as I guess you can tell, Randy and I are in the Bahamas. Yeah, look over his shoulder.
There it is.
Here's mine. You can't
I
see
was gonna
that
say
very
it's
much. I
about the
know.
same. Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you do it? Did you set your camera up really high and look down or what?
I sent you a picture of my setup.
Yeah, but I couldn't
I've,
figure out how you had it set up.
I've got the table in the room, and then I've got the table from the balcony on top of that table in my room, and y'all are sitting. My camera's a couple feet above me right now,
Okay.
so that we could do this. So
See,
yes, with a little bit of effort, we are there. Uh, just want to say good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bahamas. We are here for the Trade Talks Live, where we get to come and talk trades each and every day, Monday through Friday. And we're so glad to bring you here to the Bahamas this week. It's something a little different, definitely a change of backdrop. And guys, this is real. This is not green screen. Glad you could be here. And we would like to thank League Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. And Leak Pro, we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And guys, if you don't do leak detection yet, you can also give me a call. I will teach you exactly how to do it. I've got a 2-day training, guys. So check out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. Or if you want to, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and I'd be happy to discuss that with you. Oh, I forget I am in a different time zone today. So there is my alarm to turn sounds back on after this live show ended. Imagine that. Everybody, as you can see, Roger's getting set up there. We are here live in the Bahamas, here for a training, you know, doing some good learning, but still keeping everything going and running smooth. You back with us?
well, I think I am.
There he is.
I'm trying to. I took your idea, but I thought, I think I've got a better view than you do. So I thought, what, I'm gonna get it over here and mess with it and see what's happening.
There you
Okay,
go.
since we're ready to start, we're going to talk about hurricane season because, of course, we are in the Bahamas and this is the national news. So, guys, I want you to think about this because hurricane season begins. Welcome to June the 1st. And construction sectors have to prepare for it. Now, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm going to actually get a little sun right here while I got my door open. I think your door is closed.
Oh, yeah, mine is closed.
I decided to heck with it. But Atlantic hurricane season runs from June the 1st to November the 30th. And NOAA, and what is that? It's the National Association of, oh gosh.
I don't remember.
Yeah, anyway, they predict more activity this year than normal.
Yes.
And that's not good because, guys, look, hurricanes do a lot of damage, but they forecast 16 to 20 named storms. Now, these are storms that become above a level 1 or become above a class 1 or something like that. And 6 to 9 of those are expected to reach hurricane strength. That's not a good thing. So,
yeah,
what do we do? How do we look at it? What do we think about? Well, first of all, we have to ensure, first of all, the construction sectors in coastal areas especially ramp up for storm prep and recovery capability, meaning we're not just ready for the storms, but we got to figure out how to recover from them after they do happen. So that's one thing there. But how do we do it? We ensure sites have emergency response plans in place. Man, are you still there, Squirt?
I am.
Okay. My computer just did something. It's trying to put I don't know something up here to me, and I can't make it go away. But I'm trying. Let me see if I can.
Well, and I was going to say something that I learned yesterday whenever I was catching a shuttle around here was we officially showed up here on the date that hurricane season starts, guys, and it runs out here from June 1st till November the 30th. And I was just like, holy cow. And they're like, look, where you're at, it is pretty much just like Florida. We're kind of on the same basis, the same line. Most storms that hit here end up going up there. but like they've got to be prepared for this. And one of the major things is, even on our eastern coast, things like that, even down in the Gulf of America, uh, you've got to worry about some hurricanes coming up. So you've got to be prepared. You've got to ensure that your site has an emergency response plan in place. Now, I know a lot of hurricanes, we know they're coming beforehand, so we can kind of be prepared for this. We can maybe have days off or whatever. However, we've got to shift that based on schedule. But we also know that we can't just shut everything down just because we might get bad weather. Things shift, it changes, and it ends up turning out to be a great day. Uh, so you never know. But you want to make sure to check the inventory of those storm supplies, parts, plywood, sandbags, anything like that. Have a stockpile built up and ready because hurricane season is here. So if that is something that you have to deal with in your area where you work, then guys, be prepared. Have some supplies stocked up. Also, develop a clear communication plan for severe weather events. Who do we call? How do we get the word out that we're shutting jobs down or whatever the case is? What is your means of communication in your company, on your job site, whatever the case is, to spread that word as quick as possible so that everybody's ready?
And I like that because it's something that, I mean, look, we have tornadoes in Texas. And believe it or not, we've always got to be thinking, look, this could come through. There's things to think about. So I love that the Gulf Coast, the Atlantic coast, they're already thinking about it because they know that this happens. It's a
That's
big
it.
deal.
Like I was gonna say up there at home, we're from Dallas, Texas. All of my job sites, we knew our tornado shelter. Look, if something does happen, and guys, it's happened to me. We were getting ready, rolling up, everybody's getting ready to walk out the door, and it's like, whoa, nope, tornado just touched down. Everybody get to that point. I don't care what you've got going on. We're all going to stay safe. Let's let this pass, and then y'all can all go home. But being ready for that and making sure that everybody on the team knows where they're supposed to go and what they're supposed to do. That's the best way to keep all of these types of things top of mind.
Yeah, and here's the deal. It's something that we know. It's something that we know happens. But the big deal is, look, just be ready for it. Because if we can be ready for it, it makes it where it's not that big of a problem. All right. Website review. And Randy, you picked thefabricator.com.
Yep.
What's the big deal about this one? And I know it's metal, it's fabricators, there's welding, there's grinding. Sounds a lot like pipe fitting to me.
Well, let me run you through all this and then we'll get into what I found.
Okay.
Okay. So, good overview here. It's a premier resource for metal fabricators and welders, guys, and this is offering news, tips, and expert insights throughout the industry in fabrication. And a lot of welding is that you have to be the right fabricator to get it there ready to make the welds on it. Because if you're not a precision fabricator, the gaps are just too big to weld. So we can't have any of that. But it is very extensive technical articles on fabrication techniques, welding methods, material handling. It it's engaging for the industry forums and discussions that are going on all throughout the site. It's regularly updated safety practices and efficiency tips also. But like one of my favorite things, and here we go, is there's a section in that site, robotics and automation.
Oh, now I know why you picked this channel.
Now you know why we picked this, because that's this is my world. I love welding. I love fabricating. I love doing things like that. I was a pipe fitter for 20 years. But there's also robots and automations that are coming out to help. They're going to be a tool for us to use. And you want to be the person that knows how to use the tools as they're coming, get trained, stay in the loop, try to get ahead on what's coming and how it can actually benefit you and be useful. Like I remember in my time at the apprenticeship 25 years ago, man, I can remember them pulling in a trailer and showing us some of the automated welding techniques, and it could weld 6-inch carbon steel pipe. And I'm like, dude, like that is really cool. But I need it not in this little bitty trailer welding some small stuff. I need it out in the field welding pipe on location in these spaces, in these areas, or in the fab shop to where we can automate that portion, those portions inside there. And that's where everything's actually headed, guys. It will be coming. We talk about robots and automation a lot on this channel because it's the
Mhm.
major things that are actually coming. And it's the big breaks in construction. We're printing houses now, guys. Like, there's no telling where we're headed with robotics and automations. So I just thought this was a really cool one. Uh, it's super valuable though because it's free professional guidance that can immediately improve your fabrication qualities. So if you're struggling or things like that, kind of go through here and look and see what you can find with the things that you're actually having issues on. Uh, and it's also a great resource to stay updated on the latest welding technology and trends, like I was saying, all the new stuff that's coming, like robotics and automation. Um, but like I did a lot of orbital welding whenever I'd first got in. We talk about Texas Instruments a lot, and I became really good at that. And I actually worked on the micro welding spot. So it was quarter-inch fittings. I'd make eighth-inch stainless tubing welds, and it's a clamp that you put on. You line your pipe and your fittings up just right. You check your hollows and all this stuff. It's more pipe fitting and making sure that everything is set up perfect for that automatic machine to run those welds and handle business. And it's really cool. It's neat, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. You can get it in some tight spaces, and they really do make welding machines that are that small to do welds that that minuscule. Like, I mean, it's pretty wild, but that's where everything's headed, I think, in the future.
You know what's great? What's the coolest thing that you've ever either welded or fit up?
And so, like, my favorite is probably stainless, things like that. But like some of the coolest stuff, 30-inch pipe.
Yeah, the big
You
stuff.
want you want to talk about a completely different way to think about stuff. Like you're using wooden wedges and stuff to rotate the pipe, rotate the fittings, get it level, do all this stuff. It's not like a little 4-inch piece that you hit with a hammer and kind of knock around. That's not going to touch that 30-inch. So you've got to come up with some different methods to do it. So I think that was one of the coolest because it's so big that you've got to think completely outside of the box of how you're going to deal with a normal task. Put that 90 on that piece of pipe. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. I need a forklift. I need this. I need this. So we would have 8-inch by 8-inch blocks where normally we put pipe on 4x4s, not for 30-inch. We ordered 8x8 so that the pipe would be enough off the ground so that the guys could just lay down and actually make the welds. So I think
Mhm.
that's one of the funnest, coolest that I've ever dealt with.
That's pretty neat. I like that. All right,
Yeah.
let's roll over into service work. I'm
Business
sorry,
growth.
business growth. Yeah. I thought, wait a minute, I went too far down. And I like this because tips for effective remote management of your construction crews. And I used to love the fact that on the jobs that I ran, I mean, you've talked about this before. I was out at DFW Airport for probably 2 years before any of the hubs in the company ever even came out to the job. And I asked the president one day, I said, why don't y'all ever come out here? He said, we don't need to. We talked to the project manager, we talked to you, we know how you run your jobs. We don't need to be here. And which was great because then, of course, that allowed to free them up looking for more work. What's next? What can we roll people into? But remote management improves flexibility, reduces travel costs, and increases accountability. Now, there's a lot of key strategies here because with all the new stuff out now, you can use cloud project management software. And using this stuff is going to help you be very transparent about your workflow. And I like it because the project manager knows what's going on, the superintendent knows what's going on, but also the key people at the office do. And that way it's something they can look at and just really basically do labor projections from right there on the software and never have to. We used to go in for about a 4-hour meeting once a month and talk about where the job was, where we expected it to be, any problems we foresaw coming, any things like that. But to implement remote friendly processes, such as daily digital reports with job site photos for accuracy and accountability, to do all this, you've got to have the right people, because you can't just say, okay, we've got a software now, here, use it.
Yep.
You've got, and I remember Ronnie asking me this one day. He said, Roger, how come? Well, I'll go out and I'll talk to these superintendents and say, hey, is everything okay? And they say, yeah. But then 2 months later, they're like, oh man, look, I've got a big problem and I didn't know what to do. And I said, well, when did you know about this? Well, I knew about this 3 or 4 months ago. He said, Roger, why don't they come to me sooner? I said, Ronnie, no superintendent wants to come to you and say, Ronnie, I can't do this. Or Ronnie, I don't know how to do this. I said, my thought is, if you really want people to implement stuff, you don't just go out and ask them how everything's going. You say, look, sit down and show me this report that you're doing. Show me how you get your numbers. Show me how you figure this out. And they're like, well, Ronnie, I'm really, man, I'm not doing that report. Okay, why not? Well, I don't know how. Okay, let's sit down and go through it. I said, Ronnie, people love learning from you, but nobody wants to look at you and say, look, I don't know how to do it. So doing this stuff is great, but you can also schedule regular virtual check-ins to maintain clear communication. Now, that's something we didn't have back then. I mean, we could pick up the phone and say, hey, how's everything going? But nowadays, you can literally sit and go through a meeting. You can share reports. You can share websites. I mean, you can share whatever you want to share. But this helps clearly define the job roles, knowing what responsibility falls on what person. Is it the project manager? Is it the superintendent? And then what are the deliverables for the direct oversight? What do I have to show you so you understand you're getting the whole clear picture? And I think doing stuff like this is just fantastic. What are your thoughts on it?
Man, like I like being able to remote manage some different things because you can't always be there. And it's like whenever I was an apprentice, I guess there was a time, now it was completely wrong. I was a very capable apprentice and we were never supposed to work by ourselves. Well, I had a superintendent that lined me out on what I was doing. He took off to Terrell. I was in Garland. Okay, well, that's a big no-no in the union,
Right.
but it is a really good way to actually remotely manage the group. Now, what he should have done is put a journeyman with me in that building because there were plenty of us on the job.
Right.
That was an uh-oh on his portion. But being able to deal with things while you're on the go, while you're from in the Bahamas, but you can still keep your day to day moving and flowing is so important. And like that's something that I was talking to my machinist actually the other day. Is you've got to figure out, can my business and all my job sites keep running if I am not always physically there on that location, pushing those men? Do I have the right people in place to help push and do the things that are needed? Uh, I think that's super important. Uh, I do want to ask real quick on everybody, how is everything looking? Is everything good connection, stuff like that? Just kind of curious. I see the numbers pinging around a little bit. So if anybody could give me a little feedback on that, I'm just a little curious there.
I haven't got any lag at all. Have you?
I don't think so. That's why I'm
Okay.
just kind of asking, just as a quick. I know
I
that
like
we're, yeah,
Patrick Ramirez is thinking outside the box, which we've got to do no matter what part of all of this. We've got to think outside the box. And then biopharmaceutical stainless systems are amazing to design, fab, and install. Colton says we got zero problems. Or actually,
awesome.
I say that. I say that.
Yeah, you said that. Hey, Elizabeth said
Yeah.
it too, man. Thanks,
There
team.
you
Just
go.
checking.
Absolutely. Zero problems sounding good. Patrick, thank you very much.
Perfect.
And hello,
Yes.
Miss Elizabeth. Good to see you in here. All right. So now let's talk about service work. Because here's the deal. Top tips for building a reliable after-hour service team. And me and you talk about this a lot because, Randy, there's a lot of plumbers, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to do after hours. They don't want to be on call. And I understand it. But if you're trying to grow a company, you've got to find out how to take care of all your customers when they need to be taken care of. So after-hour service boosts customer satisfaction and profitability. And it clearly helps you clearly define your emergency service protocols and charges. You've got to know up front, like, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. Rotate on call duty to prevent burnout, and then use digital systems to effectively manage emergency calls and dispatch. Normally, your plumber on call, the phones roll over to him. Now, either he's got the bat phone or it rolls over to his number or whatever it is. but he knows when that number rings. It's funny because when I was in the 5th grade, my parents ran a business out of our house. So one thing I'll tell you is you want to make sure you train these people how to answer the phone. And when I was in the 5th grade, I was probably 12 years old, maybe 13 years old. When the phone rang at the house, it was, "Thank you for calling D Bob Swimmers. This is Roger. May I help you?" And it was just that professional recognition, that professional attitude, professional, I don't know, the right way to do it. And being set up like that, and it wasn't just me. I had a younger sister and brother that would also answer the phone. They had to answer it the same way. And if I was in 5th grade, they were in 3rd grade or 2nd grade. Now, it's funny because then in the summer, when people brought their kids over for swimming lessons, if I was out there, because I did help teach it, but if I was out there and they'd meet me, they're like, "Wait, you're Roger that I've been talking to on the phone?" And it's like, "Yes, ma'am." It's like, "I thought you were a grown man. So you acted so professional and you sound so mature." Well, that's what mom and dad taught us, but they took the time to teach us. So little things, just like answering the phone, make sure that they understand how to do that. And that becomes your dispatcher because he's answering, he's going, he's deciding what calls to take and what calls not to take. So effectively managing after hour service calls has secured long-term loyal customers. I've still got a customer to this day called me the night before Thanksgiving. Her daughter had come in from A&M, stopped up an upstairs toilet. We get the call at about 11 o'clock at night. She's having people come over the next day, and she's freaking out because they're supposed to come over early in the morning. And I woke up and I answered the call. I said, you know what? I'm on the way. And she calls back like 20 minutes later. She's like, "I'm just checking to make sure you're really on the way." I'm like, "Well, I'm in the truck now. I was in bed a while ago, so yes." But that lady still reaches out to me and says, "Hey, look, I've got problems, or what do I do and whatnot." But we built a relationship. So to me, it really is a cool deal.
What's it? Because like customers never forget that time that you saved their world.
You bet.
And guess what? They're not going to call anybody else for anything close to the same issue. You're getting that call. Why? Because you saved their butt that one time. And that's one of my favorites I hear from like different customers is you hear about that. "Oh man, I've got the right person for you. Oh my gosh, I was in a pickle and they saved my day. This is who you need to call." You can be that by setting up a good after hour service team
Hmm.
because it does earn the respect of your customers and that loyalty. The loyalty factor, I think, is very high for emergency calls because they're not going to reach out to anybody else. You went out of your way, like you for Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving Eve night. Man,
You bet.
that's big. But we all know that that's families coming together.
Hmm.
Let's do our part to try to keep that going. So I like that.
And we always tried to make it a point where we never left people in a bind. Either they don't have water, they don't have hot water. This was the only toilet in the house. It was a condo.
Oh wow. Yep.
You're like, "Look, we need it." So, hey, I completely understand.
That's it.
All right. So let's go into materials, equipment, and tools. Full maintenance tips to expand the equipment lifespan.
Yep. Man,
So
you've
go
got to
ahead.
take care of tools. Yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
like, proper tool maintenance saves money, guys. It enhances the safety and it increases productivity. And I can't relate that enough. Like, if you just throw everything in a box, if everything has its case and its place, you know where everything is. If you're just throwing it in there like you don't really care, guess what? You're gonna pull everything out. You can go to plug those batteries in. Nothing's gonna be charged. You are not gonna be ready because you are not taking care of your tools the right way.
Hmm.
Also, you can have safety issues. Okay. Grinders, things like that. I'm a pipe fitter. Yes, there's times that we do have to remove a guard to get it into somewhere. But guess what? When you pull it out of that tight spot that you had to have that off for, put it back on because you're not going to need it in a tight spot like that again for a while. And I'm not big on taking guards off, but I do know that there are some times that you do have to, and I've been in a lot of those situations. But you've got to take care of everything right. Whenever you get it out of that hole, eh, put all the stuff back on it. Keep up with it. And also, this is going to help increase your productivity because every tool is sitting there ready to go all the time. You know that you charged everything, you put it all back in its location. Oh, here's the tool, but oh, where's the jaw at? Man, where did we leave that? Oh, it's on this cart down the hall or down there somewhere. Keep your stuff together. A good maintenance guidelines here: regular cleaning after each use. Uh, that was one of the things I guess whenever I was taught ProPress, it's like, look, make sure your jaws are clean. How often do you ever look at that? Most people don't ever think about it. But occasionally, whenever you got one that's messing up, it's probably your jaws are dirty. So do some of that cleanup. Um, but majorly, if you are anywhere near the coast, whatever salt is in the air, and you are going to have to keep extra cleaning supplies around to keep your tools clean because man, salt will tear them up quick. You also want to deal with proper lubrication uh, for any of your power tools and machinery. Like our lifts, we would go through and check every so often. I knew a lot of operators, they greased every Monday, no matter what, didn't matter, and they just do it till they couldn't add no more grease. And make sure everything's lubricated the way it's supposed to be. Also, inspect your electrical cords every single day. Okay, every time you use them, because you don't know what happened whenever you went out for lunch. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. But also check the switches, check safeguards, everything like that. Uh, the power cords on there. Are you jerking your equipment around by the cord? Even though most of the cords are gone, we've moved to cordless. But if you have one, guess what? Keep an eye on that cord, maintain it because once it breaks, guess what? You really need that tool because guess what? You grabbed it and now it's not working. So make sure that you are upkeeping your equipment on a regular basis. Set a maintenance plan of how often you do this, things like this. How often do we bring a van in and let's go through every tool on the truck just to make sure that everything is in good shape and working order? Is there anything broke or do we need to fix anything? Uh, and I think that's a really good one because that doing that, like we always did a every month, I guess we would. I was on big job sites, so we would have a tool inventory. And every time we did that, I told my guys, I said, "Look, while you're doing this inventory list and you're putting your eyes on every single tool you have, put your hands on it and inspect it too, real quick. It's going to take extra time. I understand that, guys, but look, I'm dedicating the first hour today to go and do this because then I don't have to worry about it for another month. So it's super important and it's going to help save money and increase business in the long run because everything's going to be there and ready to go. So,
You
yes.
know what I like about this? It's like when we bought the Pro Press
Mhm.
and the Mega Press Jaws. We didn't use it for a long time after that. But before we put it up, that last time we used it, we cleaned it, we oiled it, put it back in the case. And then God, 3 or 4 months later, we needed it. It was like pulling a brand new tool out. And if you learn to take care of these tools and treat them right, it's a great thing. But then the other thing is make sure that you're keeping logs. What did you do? Do you have any service work done on it? Did you have to put it in the shop? And most of these places, if you put it in the shop, they're logging it anyway. So, just make sure you're keeping an eye on it. Anybody interested in doing what we do, we go live on YouTube every day. If you're not familiar with my other channel, it's Roger Wakefield Plumbing Education. Congratulations to my team because we just went over 670,000 subscribers today. And I just want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all for your help, but also the viewers. Thank y'all. And people ask me all the time, Roger, how do I do what you do? And to be honest, it's not very hard if you learn to do it the right way. To me, YouTube is a tool. And just like us being in the trades, anytime somebody hands us a new tool, we try to figure out how to do it and how to make it perform to the best of its ability. That's what I did with YouTube. But now people ask me to teach them how to do it. But the people that normally come to me, they tell me, look, I don't have the right equipment. I don't have enough followers. I'm not getting enough views. And I just laugh about it. But anyway, that's why I made this webinar, and it's free. And the purpose of the webinar is to help people get over the fact that there are fears that they're thinking, look, I can't do it because of this, but to be honest, you really can. So what I did a free webinar. It's there for you. There's a link there at the bottom. It's www.justmetroger.com. If you think you'd be interested in learning YouTube, just go there and watch this free webinar. It'll help you out. Squirt, tell us about Leak Pro.
So I was going to say, we'd also like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. And guys, I build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I build a couple different pieces of equipment. I build the probe. That's a T-handle style. It's strong and sturdy. It's got a stainless steel rod on that, which is durable for probing in and out of the ground. If you're running into any rocks or anything like that, it's okay. It's durable. It can handle it. But it's all push button activation. One wire up to your headphones. The only adjustment on the whole thing is the volume knobs. We were talking about like upkeep on tools and stuff like that, man. Keep an extra battery in the box is all I would say. Like, that's the best part about Leak Pro. Clean it up, wipe it off. Sure, if you use that probe, most of the guys that end up coming out, they're like, oh, can I get something to wipe it off? Yeah, here you go. Here's some alcohol wipes. We can keep our equipment clean. But I also built a Sidekick. That's a pistol grip style. It has an aluminum rod on it, and it's a softer metal, less dense. So it carries the sound even better and enhances it more. And that's what we prefer whenever you're listening through any concrete slabs in homes, driveways outside, sidewalks, asphalt, anything that's going on, man. You'll want that Sidekick. So I always suggest checking out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. But also, guys, if you're tired of sending all your customers over to leak detection guys, and your customers having to wait 2-6 weeks before somebody comes to locate that leak, give me a call so that we can add leak detection to your services. Because, guys, I do a 2-day training. You can come out. I've got a slab out there. I'll teach you how to locate the lines under it. I have 11 leaks under that slab to train you on. One outside of the slab so that you know what that sounds like too. Main thing about training, we are training your ears for the sounds that you're listening for and the full process of how to use this equipment. But also, I'll show you how to determine exactly where sewer lines are leaking under a house, all from the double clean out outside. Even if it's in some different branch lines and things like that, we can do some isolation and determine exactly where that's leaking, but also how to market this for your business. So please give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and I'd be happy to discuss how we can add this to your list of services.
I love it. And look, we think Leak Pro is the best leak detection system out there. And that's why we got into it like we did. All right, MEP, common electrical mistakes when wiring outdoor installations. And number one, what I love about this is I don't wire any installations. Well, maybe a bidet toilet seat every now and then. But there's some common issues. Incorrect use of indoor rated wires for outdoors. Not a good idea. Lack of GFCI protection on outdoor circuits. And sometimes those are a pain. I get it. I've got a GFCI circuit on my Traeger grill and it kicks it. So I end up having to plug it inside the house, which is okay. It makes me keep an eye on it. Or improper grounding or exposure to water penetration. Now, I understand NEMA. I've had to install some boxes that were outside and make sure that no water could ever get in them, and then have the electrician come do his deal. But there's some prevention tips. And first of all, always use UV resistant conduit and weatherproof your junction boxes. Because if you're not weatherproofing it, if you go outside and open up an electrical outlet and it's full of water, which I have seen them like that, you want to be careful. Verify the TNC guidelines. Yeah.
My favorite. Okay. We're talking about water coming out of electrical. I was on a job and they came to me because I was testing the plumbing systems throughout the building. They're like, hey, we think you have a leak. And you walk in and it's 4 conduits running and there's 2 of them that are leaking water. And I'm like, man, I think the electricians are having a bad day, guys.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
It's simple overlooking some small things. You've got to waterproof it if it's outdoors. So important.
Mhm. You
Go
you've
ahead.
gotta verify, you gotta know and verify the NEC guidelines for outdoor installations, and then regularly inspect the outdoor electrical setups, especially after storms or something like that. You may be preparing something from groundwater penetration, but if you don't have the top and it rains and the water gets above it, it could come in that way. There's a lot of problems that you can have with electrical guys, but water's one you don't want to be the problem. And that's one that you got to keep looking at, keep checking. But in the beginning, know that you put it in right to begin with. And
That's it. I
luckily,
learned. I
neither
was gonna
one
say
of
I
us deal
learned
with a lot
more.
of electrical.
That's it. And I learned more about this in it wasn't outdoor spaces. I worked in industrial spaces, so there were a lot of wash down areas. And
Hmm.
this was huge on a lot of our installations. Everything had to be NEMA 4X, sock proof, all these different things. Because guess what? It's got to be able to be sprayed with water, just like dealing with things outside. And like where we're at, we've been talking about it all morning. What if a hurricane comes through? Is that box going to be able to keep that water out or not? Because the winds are going to increase. There's a lot to it. If you're doing outdoor installations, try to think of it that way. Try to put that mindset in, like, look, oh, storm's on the way. Is this prepared or not? What do I need to do to get it right? And I think
Hmm.
that's a good idea there. Mhm.
I love that. Cool deal. Let's go to where the work is because I like your vibe today.
Hey,
Coastal and island resort construction opportunities. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm in my second room here. Second. Don't you hear me
second.
laughing? I see you. I
I,
know.
I'm trying.
So we got in yesterday afternoon. We went out by the beach, had lunch, got a little warm and sweaty. We were supposed to have a meeting at about 5 o'clock. So got back up to the room. And I thought, you know what, man, I'm gonna take a nap to help wake me up because I woke up at 3 o'clock yesterday morning to get here. You woke up at 2:30.
2:30. Yep.
Uh yep. So it had been a long day, had a meeting starting at 5. I said, you know what, I'm gonna jump in the shower. While I jump in the shower, the shower filled up. It was up to my ankles, fixing to come across the threshold. And I'm like, hurry up, get rinsed off so I can get out of here. Then I go to brush my teeth and the lavatory backs up. So I call maintenance or call the front desk. They send maintenance up. They try to plunge the shower. And I'm sitting there, guys, that ain't gonna work. I'm watching every time they push the water to come up in the lavatory. It's like, guys, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Blows my mind. Anyway, significant increase in resort and hospitality projects among U.S. coastal areas, Caribbean islands, and tourist destinations. Did we tell y'all we're in the Bahamas? I'm just asking.
Hey, some hot locations. Florida Keys, the
Bahamas.
Bahamas, Gulf Coast, the Carolinas. Resorts are going up everywhere. And like as we've talked about this before with some guys that are talking about doing some resorts and stuff, like it's like holy crap, like what is one of your favorite things to do? It's go to a resort where everybody's happy. Like that's one thing I learned traveling vacation. It's like, man, at resorts, you know what? Everybody seems happy. Love that. And if
I
you
was
live in
not
one of these
happy
locations,
yesterday.
you were
I'm
not.
just going to
No.
throw that out there.
Uh, but guys, like some of the major in-demand trades, if you're a HVAC guy, come see me.
Mm,
Okay. Like, I mean, this
yeah.
room's cool, but HVAC for the humidity control, because guys, it is humid. You can feel that heat wave whenever you walk into it. Just like Texas, we deal with it a lot there for the heat itself, but here the humidity is so high. Oh, it's rough. Corrosion resistant structural work. That's a huge one. You got to do your welds, you got to buff it, you got to seal it, you got to make sure that everything can stay corrosive resistant so that that salt doesn't eat the steel away. And there's so many luxury outdoor installations that go into these resorts. So if you've got some specialties in woods, things like that, we see some really cool stuff throughout a lot of things that we've done. We've walked some really cool stuff for videos and stuff with Renai. Man, guys, so many cool things that you can actually get involved with doing some of these resort constructions. A good tip here: explore partnerships with local firms or specialize in resilient building techniques to stand out in the coastal markets. So if you're on that coast, man, take a look, see if you can find something. Resorts would be a good thing. And then, like we did Great Wolf Lodge, I'll call it a resort. Uh,
Oh, it is.
I got a couple free nights there to test the water park. We were the guinea pigs, and they wanted us to be the guinea pigs for the restaurants and all the hotel staff and all this stuff. They're like, look, we just want them to go through the motions so that we can train them. So, you know what? We're giving all you guys that built this place free nights over the next couple weeks, and we're going to spread it out so that we can slowly ramp up our employees. So it's a really cool benefit that you could possibly gain if you're
Mhm.
still there at the end of the job. So that's one of my favorites of it.
I love that. So cool. All right, instructor training. And this is great because this is engaging apprentices through real world problem solving. And to me, that is the best way to get people involved. You let them see what's really going on, what's really happening. But apprentices retain knowledge better when solving practical hands-on problems. And if you can simulate real world job site challenges during training sessions, it works great. We built trainers to put people through to teach them how to do different things, how to install and remove garbage disposals, lavatory faucets, kitchen faucets, tub and shower valves, anything that we could do just to get somebody doing it not at a customer's house, but you're giving them still real world scenarios. And this allows them to take the lead on specific tasks supported by the mentors, meaning, the best way to teach somebody is you stand there and watch me do it. Now you stand there and help me do it. Now I stand there and help you do it. Now I stand there and watch you do it. Now you teach someone else. And if you can get someone to where they can teach someone else, it's a great way to do it. And if you go through that process, it works really, really well. But also you can encourage group problem solving to foster the teamwork skills. We all feel like we're out there on an island by ourselves, but we're really not. We have people around us that are learning new ways. When I first got in the union, the guy who got me in the union said, literally, I asked him, I said, hey, can you give me some advice? He said, always ask your apprentices how they would do it. And I'm like, why would I do that? I'm the journeyman. He said, yeah, Roger, but they're going to school 2 nights a week, learning new ways to do things. Ask them. You never know what you might come up with. And it was really pretty cool. But hands-on apprentice training has always been good for me, especially for slab leaks and leak detection. Because Randy, I think that's something I used to love doing because I could bring an apprentice in. I mean, think about it. They never penetrate the plumbing system. So this is something an apprentice can do. I don't even know if slab leaks and leak detection are listed in the plumbing code, license or board rules, either one. An apprentice
Ooh,
can come in
that's a good
and
question.
listen. Yeah. An apprentice can come in and listen to the plumbing system. He's not opening it up. He may operate a valve, but that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing
Hose
wrong with
bib
that.
or something like,
Yeah,
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 nothing,
yeah.
nothing out of the norm of, yep, normal
Mhm.
operations.
But
So, yeah.
regularly asking your apprentices to present short demonstrations on what they do best or what they like to do, or maybe it's something they hate to do. Say, hey,
Well,
look, I want you to show us how you would do this. They're like, oh my gosh. Well, maybe them doing it, maybe somebody watching says, well, this is why you hate it. You're doing this part. Can I show you a different way? You're doing it different than I do. So
yep.
I love that idea.
And then not just the physical world problem solving, working through those issues, also those customers that you have to deal with. Because if you are in the service world and you deal with that customer face to face, they need to run you through the ringer before you go in front of a customer. Because if you get that irate customer your first day, how are you going to handle that? You want to know that your apprentices are ready, they're prepared. Like earlier, you were talking about how your parents taught you to teach the phone or answer the phone. This is how y'all answer the phone whenever this phone rings. how do you teach your guys how to handle a pissed off customer? You've got to have a professional mindset, listen to that customer, understand, let them know that they're being heard, understood, and here's how we are going to solve your problem the best way we can, or explain what the issues are and why it's not in your wheelhouse or whatever the case is, depending on, and run them through a lot of the different scenarios. Run them through one where the customer's mad because of something that they can't even touch or fix, just to see how they kind of handle that. Well, whoa, hold on, that has nothing to do with this. Like you used to ask me questions backwards as a kid, and I'm going, oh, that's not the question on the test. No, but guess what? If you know how to handle this one, you'll definitely be fine dealing with the question that's actually on that test. Rattle their brains, even though, yes, they're going to hate it. I did, I guarantee it. But you can learn a lot from those situations and run them guys through the ringers and gals. Okay. Run them all through it because it's super important. And guess what? Also, randomly pop up to them and go, hey, pissed off customer, you showed up to do this. Here's what they want. What do you do? Go. Put them on the spot. Make them quick thinking on their toes because it's not always gonna. They're not always gonna have an idea and know that bad things are coming. Sometimes they will, but not always. So try to run them through everything that you can so that you actually train them on as much as possible before releasing them into the real world too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Gordon, talk about specialty trades, will you?
Man, we've got a pretty cool one here. Pool and outdoor living space construction trends. And I see this a lot. There's a place over near our office actually that does some of these backyard resorts, more or less. Uh, and guys, there's a big demand for high-end outdoor spaces. We're talking pools, we're talking outdoor kitchens, we're talking nice fancy patios with TVs and hot tubs and all this stuff. But this is really continuing to uh, rise more post-pandemic. More people know that guess what? We got to enjoy the home some. Do I need to go out to the Bahamas all the time when I can have kind of a resort at my house? Not necessarily. Now, do I want to go get this beautiful view occasionally? Sure. But what if the view is really close to the same right outside your home? This is becoming huge. And it's a great specialty you can get into. A lot of popular trends here: infinity pools and natural lagoon designs. I see this a lot. We talked about doing this out at the property kind of and creating a pond, but it's a swimming pond, not a fishing pond or anything like that, not just a normal stock tank, a natural lagoon to enjoy and visit with. Outdoor
Mhm.
kitchens are they're featuring durable, weatherproof materials. They're making outdoor kitchens out of just about everything nowadays. We go to all the different shows and stuff, and you can see all sorts of things. And I've seen a lot of really cool outdoor kitchens that they're coming up with now. This can be your specialty, though. You're going
You
out there
bet.
and you're building people's dreams at their homes. And that's one of the things that I think this is a really cool specialty. Um, but something to not forget about in this is smart outdoor lighting and automation systems. There's a lot of these over near our office too, with the lights that go into the house, and they're always changing colors for the different holidays, for different things. And it's like, man, we used to think never leave your Christmas lights up all year. Oh, well, what if you can actually change the colors and everything to make it accommodate to the year-long
Mhm.
holidays that we have? So it's actually pretty neat. So definitely don't forget that part because you'll be dealing with some lighting out there too. Um, some good construction tips: always factor local weather and drainage into your designs. Just like we were talking electrical outdoor installations earlier, make sure everything is weatherproof and ready for that because this is an outdoor specialty. Also, stay current on any outdoor rated materials and finishes that are coming out in the markets because we know they're always coming out with new stuff, guys, consistently on a day-to-day basis. So check those worlds and see what you can offer your customers because there's tons of different options.
I love it. Now we're going to talk about social media spotlight. We're talking about the Mechanical Hub, and I've already got it pulled up here, Squirt.
Awesome. Good deal.
If you want to talk about it there, because look, I love Eric Cooney. He's a great guy. I love what a Mechanical Hub does. I've actually been on their podcast and some things with them. They're up in the Minnesota area, the Twin Cities, St. Paul and Minneapolis, Minnesota. And, they do some neat stuff. So tell me why you picked the Mechanical Hub today.
Man, it's an excellent resource, not just for one trade, guys, for plumbing, for HVAC, and mechanical industry professionals. And it kind of ties both of our worlds together. He covers them all. And I think that's really cool. And why you should follow him if you're out there and you want regular product testing and unbiased equipment reviews. He'll tell you how it is. Here's what his thoughts are. And we know it's their opinion versus yours. But guess what? Everybody's got an opinion on every tool out there. Some love it, some hate it. And that's fine. That's part of it. But you can go to some of these people and hey, figure out who out there loves the things you do. Look at you up there on screen.
And I like this because like Omar the plumber's fantastic. Jeff J. Dim, HVAC, the impetus, that's Terry, God, what's his name? Anyway, Terrence, yeah, Terrence Chan.
Oh, yeah, Terrence. Yep.
Plumbing Journey, Hydronic Point One, very interesting. The Lady Plumber, if you don't know Marianne, she is freaking awesome. Everyday Plumber, I recognize this guy from somewhere. You got Precision Plumbing, Rob Jr. Our buildings, which is a little bit different. You got
it's the
Nick
metal buildings
in there, huh?
The RR buildings is that metal building guy.
Yep, the one you brought up. Absolutely. Tools by Design, Toolceptions. Joe A.O. the plumber. There's a lot of good things down here. But look, what I like about them, and you look at customer financing. And it's funny because when I look through their channel, I like the things they talk about. Look, being organized, why it matters. There's a lot of good things here. They talk about tools. Of course, they talk about different ideas. And you got, was that Weha?
Yeah.
Tools that work for you. Weha. Great Father's Day ideas. And guys, Father's Day is coming up. Nothing there on Reels. I guess I got to log in.
I know I need to try to figure out when I'm gonna get my dad.
I know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe another trip to the Bahamas or something.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, it could be nice.
Oh, there's a work trip coming up.
Yeah, I know. Lots of work trips coming up. The neat thing is, look, guys, through social media, you can grow a business, you can build a business, you can do a bunch of things. But before I get into all that, I want to talk about, Randy, what are we learning in the Bahamas? You were taking notes this morning.
I was. Man, I wish I had them. They're a little far. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, if you're in business, do socials. Yeah. Socials are a tool to gain you leads. The money is in your leads. The list that you probably already have if you're in business out there. You've got one started somewhere. I've got one started. But the real money is in the follow through, not just the follow up. Okay.
There you go.
That's the key.
That stuck, didn't it?
Follow through, not just the follow up. Yeah, you're going to follow up, but guys, how many times do you follow up? 3, 4, 5, a month, 2 months?
Randy, how long will a casino in Vegas follow up with you?
Forever. And what did he say? 30% or 40 or 50% of all emails are from casinos.
Like 38% of every email.
The next time we go, I'm going to have to go in and do a player's card somewhere only because I want to see that marketing. The only thing I bought was a show ticket. So they only try to get me for shows right now, not the actual casino stuff or the nightlife or all the things that I was learning. And it's like, you want to learn marketing, step into that world. So I want to kind of play with that so that I can try to learn from it some. Because one of the things that...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the things that he was saying is you, me, somebody 20 years younger than me, we are all three going to get different marketing things sent to us because
That's what I was going to
your
talk about, the
preferences,
psychographics.
mine, and then 20 years younger, the psychographics are different. We like
Yeah.
colors a little different. You want it to pop, I don't, things like that. So there's so much that goes into it that you can actually learn from. So I thought that was a really cool thing, and it kind of opened my eyes.
But not even that, they tie it all together. Like once they get your data, they can look at your room key and see when you come and go. Are you out of your room all night? Then they're probably going to show you things that are about the nightlife in their casino. And the thing is, they don't want you to leave their resort, because if you leave their resort, your money leaves their resort. And they know that. And chances are you're in Vegas, you're going to spend some money. So
That's it. If
I
you
love
play that one game over and
Yep.
over, guess what? Your marketing is going to come in those colors that you love so much because that game kept your attention.
And Randy, the neat thing is, I mean, I literally I can get online right now to Resorts World and probably get 2 free nights just about any week that I want to, 2 or 3.
Yep.
And it's not a bad deal. So it's something to think about. I had moved up in status there because of how much I went and how much I was playing and different things. But man, it's pretty cool. All right. So if you'd like to learn to do what we do, guys, we do social media, and we talked about this all morning. Social media is where you reach people. The first one they listed, YouTube. Okay. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. If you've got a company, if you've got a business, if you're doing things out there and you're wondering, why isn't my business growing? I'm going to ask you, are you on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, maybe even TikTok? Where are you getting in front of your customers? Because your customers are out there somewhere. I recommend to people to start on YouTube because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world. If all you've got are excuses as to why you can't do YouTube, you need to go check out this webinar. I put it together for people like you, for people like me, for people that are like, look, I just can't do it. Just never done it. I don't have enough followers. I don't have the right equipment. I don't get enough views. Yeah, you do. And you can get more. So if you're interested in learning more about it, go check out this webinar at www.justmetroger.com. And then let me know what you think about it, because I think you can do it.
That's it. And it could even, guys, none of us know what our paths are ahead. And I sent a post out on Facebook yesterday, I think it was, or this morning. Isn't it cool that work has led me to here? This is where I have to work from this week. Now, you don't know where anything is going to lead you, but guess what? If you jump and go all in for something, it can lead to some exceptional places. And that's what we've got to do through that. But we would like to thank League Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. And guys, at Leak Pro, we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And the reason that always say for professional plumbers, guys, is we keep our equipment simple and easy to use. I don't have a lot of gains and all this stuff. It's a volume knob on our equipment, both the probe and the sidekick. I suggest checking out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. It's pretty much a kit. It's a one-man operation. You can go out there. It's got a remote control outlet so that you can actually control your air and stuff to blend so that you can pinpoint locate that leak. But also, I can teach you exactly how to do that. Give me a call. I do a 2-day in-person training where I will walk you through every step of the process and exactly how to go through and pinpoint locate leaks. So give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to discuss the equipment or the training and how we can add this to your business or create a brand new one. So once again, give us a call, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO.
Guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all so much for being part of our community. Y'all allow us to do what we do, and that includes coming to places like this to learn. But without y'all, we couldn't do it. So thank y'all so much for being here. We will see y'all again tomorrow. And All I'll tell you is whatever you do out there today, do it safe and have fun.
That's it, everybody. Thanks. Happy Monday. See y'all back here tomorrow for a wonderful Tuesday, everybody. Get out there, hit it effing hard. We know I'm going to. Bye, guys.
See y'all later.